When you reach the age of 60, 70, or beyond, the world often starts speaking to you in a different tone. People may talk slower, listen less, expect less, and sometimes even see less of who you truly are. Society has a strange habit of measuring human worth by productivity, speed, and youth. But there is a powerful truth that often goes unspoken. Your most meaningful years are not behind you. They are still unfolding, waiting to be shaped by the wisdom, courage, and strength that only time can build. You have lived decades of life. You have loved, lost, struggled, endured, learned, failed, succeeded, and risen again. Each moment, whether joyful or painful, has carved wisdom into your soul. You carry within you a depth of understanding that no book, no classroom, and no shortcut could ever provide. And yet, many people reach this stage of life feeling invisible, uncertain, or disconnected from purpose. They begin to believe that their role in the world has shrunk, but the truth is far greater than that. This chapter of life is not about slowing down, it is about deepening. It is not about fading away, it is about shining from within. It is about finally living without the constant pressure to prove, impress, or chase. It is about becoming fully yourself. Think for a moment about all the versions of you that have existed across your lifetime. The young dreamer who believed anything was possible. The hard-working provider who carried responsibility on tired shoulders. The parent, the partner, the friend, the caretaker, the fighter. You have been so many things to so many people. And now, here you stand, shaped by all those experiences. There is beauty in that journey, even in its scars. Yet, many seniors struggle with feelings of regret. Thoughts like, I should have done more, I wasted time, or it's too late now, quietly creep into the mind. These thoughts can become heavy burdens, weighing down the heart. But regret is only useful when it teaches, not when it punishes. You cannot change yesterday, but you can still shape tomorrow. And tomorrow still matters. Life does not operate on a fixed deadline. Purpose does not expire at retirement. Dreams do not vanish with wrinkles. Growth does not stop with age. In fact, some of the greatest contributions to humanity were made in later years. History is filled with people who discovered their true calling after 60, 70, and even 80. What they had in common was not youth, but courage. The courage to believe that their life still had value. Every morning you wake up is a reminder that your story is not finished. Breath itself is a quiet invitation to continue. And perhaps now, more than ever, you have the clarity to live in alignment with what truly matters. In earlier years, life often demanded speed. You rushed to meet deadlines, raise families, pay bills, build careers, and survive struggles. There was little time to pause, reflect, or listen deeply to your own heart. Now, the pace may have slowed, but the depth has increased. This is your season of understanding. You no longer need to chase approval. You no longer need to compete. You no longer need to prove your worth. You already carry it. Your experiences, lessons, failures, and victories have shaped a wisdom that younger generations desperately need. Your voice, your stories, and your insights are more valuable than you realize. Yet, many seniors fall into isolation. Friends move away. Loved ones pass on. Children grow busy. Social circles shrink. Silence grows louder. Loneliness begins to creep in. But loneliness does not mean you are forgotten. It means your heart is still open, still capable of connection, still longing to share and receive. This stage of life offers a rare opportunity, the chance to rebuild connection on deeper terms, to form friendships based on understanding rather than convenience, to nurture relationships without pressure, to mentor, guide, and inspire, to listen with patience, to speak with kindness, to love without conditions. Imagine what it would feel like to wake each day with a quiet sense of purpose. Not a rushed, stressful purpose, but a gentle, meaningful one. A reason to rise, to smile, to contribute, to grow. Purpose does not have to be grand. It can be found in simple acts, a conversation, a walk, a hobby, a kind word, a helping hand, a story shared. Your experiences can become your greatest strength if you allow them to. Every challenge you survived is proof of your resilience. Every heartbreak you endured is proof of your emotional depth. Every mistake you learned from is proof of your growth. These are not weaknesses. They are your greatest tools. You have seen life from many angles. You understand that happiness is fragile, that success is temporary, and that love is precious. You know that material things fade, but memories remain. You understand that time is the only resource we can never regain. This awareness gives you a rare clarity, the power to choose wisely. At this stage, your greatest gift is perspective. You know what matters and what does not. You know which battles are worth fighting and which are better released. You know that peace is more valuable than pride and kindness more powerful than anger. And yet, fear often stands in the way. Fear of health issues, fear of financial insecurity, fear of dependence, fear of death. These fears are natural, but they do not need to control your life. Fear shrinks the future. Hope expands it. Instead of asking, "How much time do I have left?" try asking, "How fully can I live today?" Instead of worrying about what may go wrong, focus on what can still go right. Each day offers countless moments of beauty if you are willing to notice them. A warm cup of coffee, morning sunlight through the window, the sound of birds, a kind phone call, a shared laugh. These small joys, when noticed, become powerful sources of peace. Your life story holds incredible value. You have lived through decades of social change, technological transformation, cultural shifts, and historical events. Your memories are living history. When you share them, you connect generations. When you tell your story, you remind others of their roots, their struggles, their progress. Do not underestimate the power of your voice. A single story can comfort a lonely heart. A single lesson can guide a confused mind. A single word of encouragement can change someone's entire day. Your presence matters. You are not a burden. You are not a leftover. You are not outdated. You are a treasure chest of wisdom, resilience, and love. In this phase of life, self-compassion becomes essential. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be strong every day. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel. You are allowed to move at your own pace. Your worth is not measured by productivity, but by presence. Some days may feel heavy. The body may ache. The heart may feel tired. Memories may bring tears. But even on those days, you are still here, and being here is enough. It is okay to grieve what has passed. It is okay to miss what once was. But do not let longing for the past steal the beauty of the present. Life is happening now, and now still holds magic. Perhaps this is the season for rediscovery, to explore interests you once postponed, to paint, write, read, garden, cook, walk, travel, or simply observe, to learn something new, to awaken curiosity, to let yourself be a beginner again. Growth does not belong only to the young. Growth belongs to the living. Your mind is still capable of learning. Your heart is still capable of loving. Your soul is still capable of dreaming. At 60, 70, and beyond, life becomes less about accumulation and more about appreciation, less about achievement and more about connection, less about success and more about significance. This is the time to ask meaningful questions. Who do I want to be in these years? How do I want to be remembered? What kind of energy do I want to bring into the world? The answers to these questions can guide your choices, shape your days, and bring deep fulfillment. You may not control how long you live, but you do control how deeply you live. Every moment offers a choice to withdraw or to engage, to complain or to appreciate, to isolate or to connect, to fear or to trust. These choices, repeated daily, shape the quality of your life. It is never too late to choose differently. Perhaps you once dreamed of writing, but life got in the way. You can still write. Perhaps you wanted to help others, but responsibilities pulled you elsewhere. You can still serve. Perhaps you longed to travel, to see new places. You can still explore, even if only in small ways. Life does not require grand gestures to be meaningful. Often, meaning is built through consistency, small acts of kindness, daily gratitude, gentle discipline, and honest connection. You have already survived more than you ever thought possible. That alone proves your strength. You have endured heartbreak, disappointment, uncertainty, and loss, and yet, here you are, still breathing, still feeling, still hoping. That is resilience. And now, you have the opportunity to transform that resilience into wisdom, that wisdom into guidance, and that guidance into legacy. Your legacy is not only what you leave behind, It is what you pass forward while you are still here. Your words, values, kindness, and example can shape the lives of children, grandchildren, neighbors, friends, and strangers. Even small interactions carry lasting impact. A gentle smile, a patient conversation, a thoughtful piece of advice. These moments echo far beyond their time. At this stage, life invites you to slow down enough to truly see, to notice faces, to hear stories, to feel gratitude, to embrace simplicity. There is peace in simplicity. There is beauty in ordinary days. There is purpose in being present. You do not need to reinvent yourself completely. You only need to reconnect with who you truly are. Strip away the titles, roles, and expectations. Beneath all of that is a human being who longs to feel valued, connected, and alive. That person is still you, and that person deserves joy, respect, and fulfillment. This chapter of life is a gift. It offers clarity without urgency, depth without pressure, and meaning without competition. It is an invitation to live gently, authentically, and purposefully. So take a deep breath. Feel the life within you. And remember, your greatest strength is not your youth, your speed, or your productivity. Your greatest strength is your experience. And your most meaningful years are not behind you. They are still unfolding. As life moves forward into these later years, many people begin to feel the quiet weight of invisibility. The world seems to rush past, absorbed in speed, technology, and endless noise. Sometimes it feels as though your voice no longer carries the same weight it once did. But invisibility is often an illusion created by isolation, not by lack of value. Your presence still matters deeply, even if it is not always loudly recognized. There is a powerful transformation that can happen when you shift your focus from what has been lost to what still remains. While some roles may have changed, countless possibilities are still waiting to be discovered. The ability to love, to learn, to give, and to grow never expires. When you choose to see yourself as a living source of wisdom rather than a fading shadow, your entire outlook begins to change. Many seniors struggle with the idea of relevance. They wonder if their opinions still matter, if their contributions still count, if their dreams are still valid. But relevance is not about keeping up with trends. It is about offering truth, stability, and perspective in a world that often lacks all three. Your calm presence, your patience, and your understanding can provide a sense of grounding that younger generations desperately need. You have lived long enough to know that life is rarely simple. You understand the complexity of emotions, the unpredictability of circumstances, and the fragile nature of happiness. This understanding allows you to respond with empathy rather than judgment, with compassion rather than criticism. In a world that is quick to react, your ability to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully becomes a powerful gift. Connection becomes increasingly important as the years pass. Human beings are not meant to live in isolation. We are wired for companionship, conversation, and emotional exchange. Yet, many seniors find themselves spending more time alone than they ever imagined. The quiet can be peaceful at times, but prolonged silence can slowly turn into loneliness. Loneliness does not mean there is something wrong with you. It simply means your heart still desires connection. It is a reminder that your emotional world is alive and active, and where there is desire, there is possibility. Small acts can open large doors. A short walk in the neighborhood, a friendly greeting, a phone call, a community class, a volunteer opportunity. Even digital spaces can become bridges rather than barriers when used with intention. Each interaction, no matter how brief, carries the potential to form meaningful bonds. When you share your stories, you invite others into your world. You remind them that life is a journey filled with twists, turns, setbacks, and triumphs. Your stories carry lessons no textbook can teach. They speak of resilience, patience, sacrifice, and hope. They show what it truly means to endure. There is healing in storytelling. For the listener, it offers guidance and comfort. For the storyteller, it brings release, reflection, and clarity. When you speak your truth, you honor your journey. When you allow others to hear it, you give them strength. Many people spend their later years trapped by routine. Days blend together, each one resembling the last. While routine provides stability, too much predictability can quietly drain the spirit. Introducing small changes can awaken curiosity and enthusiasm. Trying a new hobby, learning a new skill, or simply exploring a new walking path can reignite a sense of discovery. Your brain remains capable of forming new connections, learning new patterns, and absorbing new information. Curiosity keeps the mind flexible and alive. It prevents stagnation and nurtures growth. Each new experience, no matter how small, strengthens your sense of engagement with life. Gratitude becomes a powerful anchor during this stage. When you intentionally focus on what you still have, rather than what you have lost, your emotional landscape shifts. Gratitude does not deny pain or difficulty, but it balances them with appreciation. It reminds you that even amidst challenges, beauty still exists. A grateful heart sees opportunity where others see limitation. It recognizes the gift in ordinary moments. It finds peace in simplicity. Over time, gratitude transforms perspective, allowing you to experience contentment rather than constant longing. Forgiveness also plays a vital role in emotional freedom. Holding on to resentment, regret, or unresolved anger creates invisible chains that weigh heavily on the heart. Forgiveness does not mean excusing harmful behavior. It means releasing yourself from the burden of carrying it. You have lived long enough to know that people often act from their own pain, fear, and confusion. By choosing forgiveness, you reclaim your peace. You free your emotional energy to invest in joy, connection, and purpose. Self-forgiveness is just as important. Many seniors carry guilt over past decisions, missed opportunities, or perceived failures. But harsh self-judgment serves no healing purpose. You did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. Growth is built on imperfection, not perfection. When you offer yourself compassion, you create space for healing. You allow your heart to soften. You replace self-criticism with understanding. This gentle acceptance opens the door to inner peace. At this stage of life, meaning often shifts from achievement to contribution. Instead of asking, "What can I accomplish?" the question becomes, "What can I give?" Service does not require grand gestures. It can be found in listening, encouraging, supporting, and guiding. Your presence alone can bring comfort. Sitting beside someone who is struggling, offering a kind word, sharing wisdom, these simple acts carry deep impact. They remind others that they are not alone, and in doing so, they remind you as well. Purpose thrives in service. When you contribute to the well-being of others, your own sense of fulfillment grows. You begin to see yourself not as someone fading from relevance, but as someone actively shaping lives. Health, both physical and emotional, becomes an increasingly important focus. While aging brings natural changes, gentle movement, nourishing food, restful sleep, and emotional balance can greatly enhance quality of life. Treating your body with care is an act of self-respect. Treating your mind with kindness is an act of self-love. Listening to your body, honoring its limits, and celebrating its abilities creates a relationship of trust between you and yourself. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves patience and gratitude. Mental well-being is equally essential. Engaging in meaningful conversation, creative expression, and reflective practices keeps the mind engaged and resilient. Moments of stillness, meditation, prayer, or quiet reflection provide grounding and clarity. Fear of the future often grows louder with age. Concerns about health, independence, finances, and mortality can create anxiety. While these fears are natural, they need not dominate your life. The future remains uncertain at every age. What you possess now is the present moment. By grounding yourself in the now, you reduce the power of fear. You learn to appreciate what is real, rather than worry about what may never happen. Each breath becomes a reminder that life is happening now, and now is where peace can be found. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means releasing resistance to what cannot be changed and redirecting energy toward what can. When you accept aging as a natural progression rather than a personal failure, you begin to experience freedom. Freedom from unrealistic expectations. Freedom from constant comparison. Freedom from the pressure to remain who you once were. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to rest. Joy in later years often comes from presence rather than excitement. A quiet morning, a heartfelt conversation, a gentle breeze, a familiar song. These moments when fully experienced, bring deep contentment. Slowing down allows you to savor life rather than rush through it. You begin to notice details that once escaped you. The texture of leaves, the warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of breath. Life becomes less about doing and more about being. This stage offers a rare opportunity for inner exploration. Without constant external demands, you can turn inward and reconnect with your true self. You can reflect on your values, your beliefs, and your desires. You can redefine what fulfillment means to you. Perhaps fulfillment now means peace rather than success, connection rather than recognition, simplicity rather than excess, meaning rather than achievement. You are free to choose. The beauty of this chapter lies in its authenticity. There is no need to pretend, no need to impress, no need to compete. You can simply be, and in that being, you may discover a depth of joy you never experienced before. Your life, with all its chapters, holds profound meaning. Every experience, every relationship, every struggle has shaped who you are today. You are a living testament to endurance, adaptability, and hope. Even now, growth continues. Even now, love expands. Even now, purpose evolves. You are not standing at the end of life, you are standing in the midst of it. And as long as you breathe, your story continues to unfold. As the years pass, one of the greatest gifts you receive is clarity. Clarity about what truly matters, about what deserves your energy, and about what no longer does. This clarity does not come easily. It is earned through decades of experience, through mistakes, through heartache, through perseverance, and through hope. It is a quiet wisdom that settles into the soul, gently guiding your choices. With this clarity comes the opportunity to simplify life, to release unnecessary burdens, to let go of old grudges, to loosen the grip on expectations that no longer serve you. Simplification creates space. Space for peace, space for joy, space for connection, space for presence. In younger years, life often feels like a race, a constant pursuit of goals, milestones, and achievements. There is pressure to build, to prove, to accumulate. But as time unfolds, you begin to understand that fulfillment does not come from accumulation. It comes from appreciation. You begin to value moments more than possessions, conversations more than accomplishments, memories more than material things. You realize that what stays with you is not what you owned, but how you lived, how you loved, and how you treated others. This awareness invites a deeper form of gratitude. Gratitude for ordinary days, gratitude for small comforts, gratitude for familiar faces, gratitude for each sunrise you are given. Gratitude has the power to soften the hardest moments. It reminds you that even within struggle, beauty can be found. It gently shifts your focus from what is missing to what remains. One of the most meaningful transformations that can occur in later life is the shift from self-centered goals to service-oriented purpose. When you begin to ask how you can uplift others, your life gains renewed direction. Purpose expands when it is shared. You do not need to change the world to make a difference. You only need to touch one life. Sometimes the smallest gestures create the greatest impact. A patient ear, a compassionate word, a gentle reassurance. These moments of connection ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. Mentorship becomes a natural extension of your lived experience. Younger generations seek guidance, even if they do not always know how to ask. Your stories, your lessons, and your honesty provide roadmaps for those navigating uncertainty. When you share your struggles alongside your successes, you offer something deeply human. You remind others that imperfection is part of the journey, that failure is not final, that growth often emerges from adversity. This honesty builds trust. It fosters understanding. It creates bridges between generations. In a world increasingly divided by speed and distraction, your steady presence becomes a grounding force. Reflection also becomes more prominent in later years. You find yourself looking back, not with longing, but with curiosity. You revisit memories, examining them through the lens of wisdom rather than emotion. You begin to understand the hidden lessons behind past events. Reflection offers healing. It allows you to reframe painful experiences, to find meaning in suffering, to recognize your own strength, to forgive yourself and others. In this reflective space, many people discover a renewed sense of spirituality or inner connection, whether through faith, meditation, nature, or quiet contemplation. There arises a desire to connect with something greater than oneself. This connection provides comfort, grounding, and hope. Stillness becomes sacred. Moments of silence become invitations rather than emptiness. In stillness, you can hear your own heart more clearly. You can feel the rhythm of your breath. You can sense the gentle presence of life moving through you. Peace often resides in these quiet spaces. As the body changes, patience becomes essential. Energy may fluctuate, mobility may slow, sensations may differ. But these changes do not diminish your value. They simply invite adaptation. Gentle movement, mindful breathing, and compassionate self-care nurture both physical and emotional well-being. Each small act of kindness toward your body strengthens your relationship with yourself. Rest becomes restorative rather than lazy. Slowness becomes intentional rather than unproductive. Listening to your body becomes a form of wisdom. You begin to understand that caring for yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. When you tend to your own well-being, you create the capacity to care for others. Another profound shift that occurs in later life is the deepening of emotional intelligence. You become more attuned to subtle feelings, unspoken needs, and quiet emotions. You sense when someone is hurting, even if they do not say so. This sensitivity allows you to respond with compassion. You learn that listening is often more powerful than speaking. That presence is often more healing than advice. That empathy creates connection where words cannot. Through this emotional awareness, relationships deepen. Conversations become richer. Connections become more meaningful. You begin to cherish quality over quantity. Friendships evolve. Some fall away. New ones emerge. Each carries its own lessons and blessings. You learn to appreciate people for who they are, not for what they provide. Love, too, transforms. It becomes less about passion and more about devotion, less about excitement and more about understanding, less about possession and more about acceptance. This mature form of love offers stability, safety, and deep comfort. It nourishes the soul. Creativity also finds new expression. Many seniors discover artistic interests later in life. Painting, writing, music, crafting, and storytelling become ways to explore inner worlds and express emotions. Creativity keeps the mind flexible and the heart engaged. Creative expression offers release. It allows feelings to flow. It transforms memories into beauty. It gives voice to emotions that may be difficult to articulate. Through creativity, you reconnect with playfulness, curiosity, and wonder. You remember what it feels like to explore without expectation, to create without judgment. This freedom awakens joy. Nature becomes a profound teacher. Time spent outdoors fosters grounding and reflection. The steady rhythm of seasons mirrors the cycles of life. You see birth, growth, decay, and renewal woven into every landscape. Nature reminds you that change is natural, that endings give way to beginnings, that nothing remains static. This understanding brings acceptance and peace. Walking beneath open skies, listening to birds, feeling sunlight on your skin, these experiences reconnect you with the present moment. They soothe anxiety and restore balance. The concept of legacy often emerges more strongly during these years. You begin to consider how you wish to be remembered, not for your possessions or status, but for your character, your kindness, and your contributions. Legacy is built through daily choices, through integrity, through compassion, through generosity, through love. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to leave a positive imprint, a memory, a lesson, a feeling. You may not realize it, but your presence shapes the emotional climate of every space you enter. Your tone, your attitude, your energy influence others more than you know. When you choose patience, you create calm. When you choose kindness, you inspire warmth. When you choose understanding, you foster trust. These choices form the foundation of your legacy. The beauty of later life lies in its depth. You are no longer skimming the surface of experience. You are diving beneath it. You are exploring meaning, connection, and truth. Your heart becomes more open. Your mind becomes more flexible. Your spirit becomes more receptive. Even now, life continues to teach. Each day brings new lessons, new insights, and new opportunities for growth. There is no final destination in living. There is only continuous unfolding. And within this unfolding, you are invited to embrace curiosity, to remain open, to remain hopeful. Hope does not deny reality. It simply trusts that goodness still exists, that love still matters, that tomorrow still holds promise. Hope sustains the heart. It fuels resilience. It nurtures courage. At 60, 70, and beyond, hope becomes a quiet companion, walking beside you, reminding you that life still holds beauty, meaning, and connection. And as long as hope remains, your journey continues. There comes a moment in later life when you begin to understand that healing is not about erasing the past, but about making peace with it. Every memory, whether joyful or painful, becomes part of a larger story. And within that story, there is wisdom waiting to be discovered. Many people carry emotional wounds for decades, words that were never spoken, apologies that were never offered, love that was never fully expressed. These unspoken moments can quietly shape the heart. But healing begins when you allow yourself to feel, reflect, and release. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means accepting what was and choosing to move forward without bitterness. It means freeing yourself from the heavy burden of resentment and regret. It means allowing peace to replace pain. As you reflect on your life, you may recognize moments where you wish you had chosen differently. Perhaps you regret certain decisions, missed opportunities, or broken relationships. But every choice you made was influenced by the knowledge, resources, and emotions you had at the time. You cannot judge your past self by the wisdom of your present self. Compassion toward your younger self opens the door to deep healing. When you forgive yourself, you reclaim your emotional freedom. You allow love and understanding to replace judgment and guilt. Healing also involves embracing vulnerability. It takes courage to acknowledge pain, fear, and sadness. Yet, within vulnerability lies strength. When you allow yourself to be honest about your emotions, you create space for genuine connection. Sharing your struggles with trusted individuals lightens emotional burdens. It reminds you that you are not alone, that others, too, have walked through hardship. That human experience is both fragile and resilient. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are evidence of survival. They tell the story of endurance. They reflect your ability to keep moving forward, even when the path was uncertain. This recognition builds self-worth. You begin to see yourself not as broken, but as brave. Not as flawed, but as human. Not as fragile, but as strong. Self-worth in later life often requires redefining value. When society emphasizes productivity, youth, and speed, it becomes easy to internalize the belief that worth diminishes with age. But true value lies in presence, compassion, wisdom, and character. Your worth does not decrease as your pace slows, it deepens. Your ability to listen, to empathize, to understand, and to care becomes more refined. These qualities hold immeasurable value. They bring comfort, stability, and reassurance to those around you. When you begin to honor your own worth, your relationships transform. You set healthier boundaries. You allow yourself to receive care. You accept support without shame. You recognize that asking for help is not weakness, but wisdom. Independence may shift in later life, but dignity does not need to. Accepting assistance allows others the opportunity to give. It fosters connection rather than dependence. It creates bonds rooted in mutual respect. There is beauty in interdependence, in sharing strength, in offering and receiving care, in walking together rather than alone. As you embrace this balance, you discover renewed confidence. Not the loud confidence of youth, but the quiet confidence of self-acceptance, the calm assurance that comes from knowing who you are. This inner confidence frees you from comparison. You no longer measure your life against others. You recognize that each journey is unique, that success takes many forms, that fulfillment is deeply personal. Rediscovery becomes a central theme in this phase of life. Without the pressures of earlier years, you have the freedom to explore who you are beyond roles and responsibilities. You can ask yourself new questions. What brings me peace? What awakens curiosity? What nourishes my spirit? These questions lead you toward activities and relationships that align with your true self. You begin to choose experiences that resonate rather than impress. You prioritize what feels meaningful rather than what appears important. This shift brings profound satisfaction. You feel more authentic, more grounded, more present. Spiritual reflection often deepens, whether through prayer, meditation, or quiet contemplation. Many seniors feel a growing desire to connect with something greater than themselves. This connection provides comfort, perspective, and hope. Faith, in any form, offers reassurance in uncertainty. It reminds you that life holds mystery beyond understanding, that there is purpose beyond immediate perception, that love transcends limitation. In these reflective moments, gratitude often arises. Gratitude for survival, gratitude for lessons, gratitude for love experienced, gratitude for opportunities given, gratitude for life itself. Gratitude softens the heart. It transforms memory into meaning. It allows you to hold both joy and sorrow with grace. The rhythm of life slows, inviting deeper awareness. You begin to notice subtle beauty, the way light filters through trees, the gentle cadence of rain, the warmth of familiar voices. These moments, when fully experienced, become sacred. Presence becomes a gift you offer both yourself and others. When you are fully present, conversations deepen, connections strengthen, time becomes richer. You begin to understand that happiness is not found in constant excitement, but in contentment, in acceptance, in peace. Peace arises when you stop resisting life as it is and begin to embrace it with openness. It emerges when you let go of expectations and accept each moment as it comes. This acceptance does not mean passivity. It means choosing peace over struggle, flow over resistance, trust over fear. As peace grows, so does compassion. You become gentler with yourself and others. You recognize the hidden battles everyone carries. You offer understanding where once you offered judgment. This compassion becomes your greatest gift. It heals relationships. It softens conflicts. It builds bridges across difference. In later life, reconciliation becomes deeply meaningful. Mending broken relationships, offering forgiveness, expressing love. These acts bring profound closure and healing. Sometimes reconciliation is not possible with others, but it is always possible within yourself. Making peace with your own story allows you to move forward without lingering emotional weight. Every day offers an opportunity to choose healing, to release old pain, to embrace peace, to cultivate joy. Joy may look different now. It may be quieter, gentler, more subtle, but its depth can be greater. A peaceful morning, a heartfelt conversation, a shared laugh. These moments nourish the soul. Joy does not demand perfection. It thrives in simplicity. The wisdom you have gained through decades of living equips you to navigate life with grace. You have learned patience. You have learned resilience. You have learned acceptance. These qualities form the foundation of inner peace. And from this place of peace, your presence becomes healing to others. People feel safe around you. They feel understood. They feel seen. Your life becomes a quiet testament to endurance, growth, and love. Even now, your journey continues. Each breath offers a new beginning. Each day offers a chance to live with intention. You are not defined by what you have lost. You are defined by what you have gained. Wisdom, compassion, perspective, strength. These are the treasures of later life, and they hold the power to shape your remaining years into your most meaningful ones yet. As this journey through reflection, healing, growth, and rediscovery comes toward its closing, one truth becomes clear. Life does not measure its worth in years, but in meaning. The depth of your experiences, the love you have given, the resilience you have shown, and the wisdom you carry all stand as living proof that your story matters. Each morning you wake is a sacred invitation. It is a chance to breathe, to feel, to notice, to connect, and to choose how you will live this day. The past has shaped you, but it does not confine you. The future remains unwritten, waiting for your presence, your intention, and your courage. At 60, 70, and beyond, you stand at a remarkable crossroads. You have traveled far, learned deeply, and endured greatly. Now, you have the rare gift of perspective. You see life not as a race to be won, but as a journey to be honored. You understand that success is not measured by wealth or recognition, but by peace, connection, and fulfillment. Your days no longer need to be filled with pressure. They can be filled with purpose, gentle purpose, meaningful purpose, purpose rooted in presence, kindness, and authenticity. You have earned the right to live according to your own values, to set your own pace, to choose your own joys, to rest when tired, to speak when moved, to listen when called. There is a profound freedom in no longer needing to prove yourself, in releasing expectations that never belong to you, in simply being who you are without apology. Your voice still matters. Your story still matters. Your presence still matters. Even the smallest moments of connection carry immense power. A shared smile, a warm embrace, a sincere conversation. These moments weave the fabric of belonging, reminding us that we are never truly alone. In these later years, life gently invites you to savor, to slow down enough to taste, to feel, to notice, to appreciate the ordinary, to find beauty in simplicity, the soft glow of morning light, the comfort of familiar routines, the laughter of loved ones, the quiet comfort of solitude. These experiences, when fully embraced, become extraordinary. You no longer need grand achievements to validate your existence. Your life itself is an achievement. You have endured hardship. You have survived loss. You have navigated uncertainty. You have adapted, grown, and persisted. Through it all, you remained. That endurance is strength. And now, that strength becomes wisdom. Wisdom becomes compassion. Compassion becomes legacy. Your legacy is not something that waits until the end. It is built every day through your choices, your words, and your actions. It lives in the memories you create, the love you offer, and the lessons you share. Every act of kindness leaves a mark. Every moment of patience teaches. Every word of encouragement heals. You may never fully see the impact you have, but it exists in the hearts you touch, in the lives you influence, in the connections you nurture. As the world continues to change rapidly, your steady presence becomes an anchor. Your calm perspective offers reassurance. Your lived experience provides guidance. In a society often consumed by speed, comparison, and noise, your quiet wisdom stands as a reminder of what truly matters: connection, compassion, meaning, love. These values never fade. They only deepen. The years ahead may bring challenges. There may be moments of uncertainty, vulnerability, or fear, but within you lives a resilience that has carried you through decades of change. You have faced storms before. You have found your way through darkness. You have risen again and again. That strength remains. Trust it. Lean into it. Let it guide you forward. When fear whispers, listen instead to hope. When doubt arises, remember your resilience. When loneliness appears, seek connection. When sadness visits, allow yourself to feel and release. Your emotional world remains alive, rich, and meaningful. Each feeling holds a message. Each moment offers insight. Allow yourself the grace to experience life fully, without resistance or judgment. At this stage, acceptance becomes your greatest ally. Accepting yourself, accepting change, accepting uncertainty, accepting the natural rhythms of life. Acceptance does not weaken you. It strengthens you. It frees you from struggle and opens the door to peace. Peace does not mean the absence of difficulty. It means the presence of understanding. Understanding that life is imperfect, understanding that growth continues, understanding that love endures, and within this understanding, you find serenity. You may find yourself reflecting more often on the meaning of existence, on what remains after accomplishments fade, on what truly defines a life well lived. The answer is simple, yet profound. A life well lived is one filled with love, love for others, love for yourself, love for the world. This love expresses itself through kindness, patience, generosity, and compassion. It softens the hardest edges of life. It heals old wounds. It builds bridges across difference. Your capacity for love has not diminished. It has matured. It has deepened. It has expanded. Allow it to flow freely. Allow it to guide your actions. Allow it to shape your remaining years. In doing so, you transform not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. Even now, there is still much to discover. New friendships, new insights, new joys, new understandings. Curiosity remains a powerful force. It invites exploration. It awakens wonder. It keeps the mind alive. Approach each day with gentle curiosity. What beauty might today reveal? What lesson might today offer? What connection might today bring? Life still holds surprises, and within those surprises lies magic. You have earned the right to embrace this chapter fully, to savor its depth, to appreciate its richness, to honor its meaning. Your story is not nearing its end, it is entering one of its most profound chapters. A chapter defined not by ambition, but by authenticity, not by speed, but by presence, not by achievement, but by meaning. Your life experience is your greatest strength. It has shaped your wisdom. It has deepened your compassion. It has refined your understanding. And now, it empowers you to live your most meaningful years yet. So step into each day with openness, with courage, with gratitude, with hope, and above all, with love. Because you are still here, and your life still matters.